Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the City of Patterson Planning Board meeting of Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. via webinar session. Chairwoman Northrop, you may proceed. I cannot hear you, Chairwoman.
Sorry, please everyone rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which
it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
You may be seated, thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening. Evening.
Okay, I'm going to ask that everyone mute themselves until you're called upon, so that we don't have any echoing in the background. We seem to have a lot of people on this evening. Thank you very much. Okay, Commissioners, Planning Board staff, ladies and gentlemen, as Chairwoman of the City of Patterson's Planning Board, I call this meeting of March 2nd, 2022 to order. I hereby state that all the provisions of the State of New Jersey Public Meeting Law have been fully and completely met, that the notice of provisions required have been properly posted in the Planning Board office and with the City of Patterson clerk, that the public notice and advertisements have been published in the Herald News on March 4th, 2022, in accordance with the law, and that the copies of such notice and public advertisements are on file in the Planning Board office, as is also the agenda listing the applications to be taken up by the Planning Board at this meeting. The procedures tonight will be in accordance with the rules, regulations, and bylaws as heretofore determined by the Planning Board at its office in the Municipal Complex in the City of Patterson. Roll call, please.
Good evening, Commissioners, Councilmen, and staff, including the public. Thank you very much for attending this evening. Commissioners, Commissioner Udine is absent. Commissioner Ahmed is absent. Commissioner Cleaves, are you present?
I'm present.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Fisher is absent. Commissioner Lidanzo is absent. Commissioner Santana, are you present?
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Omar.
I'm present.
Thank you. Commissioner Roman is absent. Commissioner Figueroa.
Present.
Thank you. Councilman Kalik is absent this evening, and Chairwoman Northrop.
Present.
Thank you. We have 5 commissioners this evening in attendance. You may proceed.
Thank you. Notice pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act addressing the effect of coronavirus measures on next public meeting. Consistent with the coronavirus-related restrictions of Executive Order Number 107 given on Saturday, March 21st, 2020 by Governor Philip D. Murphy. Planning Board. I'm going to ask everyone to please mute themselves until you're ready to talk and we call on you. Thank you. Consistent with the coronavirus-related restrictions of Executive Order Number 107 given on Saturday, March 21st, 2020 by Governor Philip D. Murphy, the Planning Board of the City of Patterson will not conduct in-person participation of the public at all future meetings until further notice. However, public participation will be available by means of communication equipment pursuant to NJSA 10:4-8, commencing on April 15, 2020. Though there may potentially be a practical need for a limited number of administrative, technical, or other city personnel to be present in or near the council chambers, 3rd floor, City Hall, 155 Market Street, Patterson, New Jersey, in-person participation of the public is prohibited. Nevertheless, for reasons of compliance with the said Executive Order Number 107, public participation will be available by calling 973-321-1579, and the meeting ID is 711-680-001. And I will repeat that later on during the meeting, on the date and time that the meeting is scheduled to commence, which is this evening. The public may also participate in the meeting by accessing the website of the City of Patterson, www.pattersonnj.gov. Following matters are going to be heard this evening. We have Patterson for for Habitat for Humanity, we have Quality Realty Inc., 150-156 Market Street, and we have Ryerson Real Estate LLC, 192-196 Ryerson Avenue. I believe, Mr. Deutsch, are we gonna be starting this evening with the Patterson Habitat for Humanity?
That is correct.
Okay, so, who is representing the Patterson Habitat for Humanity?
Hi, Ms. Northrop. Alexis Lazara of 384 Union Boulevard in Totowa.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, the applicant has not filed a subdivision plat with the required 180-day time period required by the County of the State Register of Deeds. The applicant requested reapproval from the Patterson Planning Board of the previous approval obtained at a meeting held on May 20th, 2020. At that meeting, the applicant obtained approval to merge lots 9, 10, 11, and 12, which have combined lot areas of 13,700 square feet, and subdivide them into 6 lots. Proposed lots 9 and 10 are to have lot area of 2,500 square feet. Proposed proposed lot 11.01 is to have a lot area of 2,503 square feet. Proposed lot 11.02 is to have the lot area of 2,625 square feet. Proposed lot 11.03 is to have the area of 2,621 square feet. Proposed lot 12 is to have an area of 950 square feet. Except for lot 12, the applicant also obtained approval for each lot to have a single-family, 3-story dwelling constructed on each lot, and construction has commenced. All 6 of the lots have frontage on Governor Street. Proposed lot 12 is to be used as an open space pocket park. This proposal is located within the RA-2 zone of the 4th Ward redevelopment plan. A minimum lot area of 2,500 square feet per lot is required. It requires a major subdivision approval, site plan approval, and bulk variances. Mr. Deutsch, would you like to give us your review, please?
Taxes and sewer charges are current. As indicated on the survey prepared by DMC Associates and dated November 19th, 2019, the parcel is vacant and is located on the southern side of Governor Street between Summer Street and Carroll Street. The combined lots have frontage of 141.88 feet on Governor Street. Parcel's total area of 13,700 square feet or 0.32 acres. Survey also indicates the parcel is relatively flat with only gradual changes in elevation. A fire most likely destroyed the previous structures on the premises, as there's evidence of a previous driveway. As indicated on the major subdivision plat prepared by Golden and Moran Engineering dated December 1st, 2019, the parcel is to be subdivided into 6 separate lots. Proposed lots 9 and 10 are to have frontage of 25 feet on Governor Street, a rear yard lot line that also measures 25 feet, and eastern and western side lot lines that measure 100 feet each. Each lot has proposed area of 2,500 square feet. Proposed lot 11.01 is to have frontage of 25 feet on Governor Street, a rear lot line that measures 25.06 feet, and eastern and western side lot lines that measure 100 feet each. Lot 11.01 has proposed lot area of 2,503 square feet. Proposed lot 11.02 is to have frontage of 25 feet on Governor Street, a rear lot line that measures 24.97 feet, and eastern and western side lot lines that measure 105.02 feet each. Proposed lot 11.02 has proposed lot area of 2,625 square feet. Proposed lot 11.03 is to have frontage of 25 feet, a rear lot line that measures 25.03 feet, and eastern and western side lot lines that measure 105.02 feet each. Proposed lot 11.03 has proposed lot area of 2,621 square feet. Proposed lot 12 is to have frontage of 16.88 feet on Governor Street, a rear lot line that measures 17.16 feet, and eastern and western side lot lines that measure 55.83 feet. Proposed lot 12 is to have area of 950 square feet. The plan also indicates that lots 9, 10, 11.01, 11.02, and 11.03 are each to have a proposed unattached 3-story single-family dwelling constructed on each lot. The applicant requests variances on lots 9, 10, 11.01, 11.02, and 11.03 for exceeding the maximum front yard setback. A maximum front yard setback of 7 feet is required, and the applicant proposed a setback of 8 feet. Additionally, lot 12, which is proposed for open space, has lot area of 950 square feet and 2,500 square feet is required. Kathy Benson, architect, has prepared a drawing submission dated May 20th, 2019. For each proposed single-family dwelling located. Each dwelling is to be constructed upon a concrete slab. Drawing A2 are the floor plans. Each drawing is to have a single garage door and a front door at grade level. The garage is deep enough to accommodate 2 vehicles, a tandem arrangement, as the length of the dwelling is 40 feet and the width is 18 feet and 6 inches. Upon entering the dwelling, there are stairs to the second floor and an interior door to the garage. Second floor includes a covered porch at the front of the dwelling, a living room, a kitchen, an office, a half bathroom, and a deck with stairs leading to the ground level. The third floor plan indicates a master bedroom, a full bathroom, a washer and dryer, and additional 2 bedrooms. Drawing A1 indicates the dwelling elevations. The front elevation indicates a block arrangement around the garage and front door, a double window and door leading to the balcony on the second floor, and a double window and a single window on the third floor. Each dwelling has an A-frame style roof. The right side elevation indicates no windows on the first floor's blank exterior, 2 single windows on the second floor, and 1 single window on the third floor. The rear elevation indicates stairs leading from the ground level to the second floor deck, which has a door and 2 windows, and the third floor indicates 2 single windows. The left side elevation indicates 2 single windows on the second floor and 1 window on the third floor. Drawing A4 are the framing plans. Drawing A5 are the electrical plans, and drawing A6 is titled Energy Star Notes. The proposed curb cuts to access the driveways of the proposed lot shall be a maximum of 12 feet in width. All landscaping within the front yard setback shall be kept to a maximum height of 30 inches in order to ensure adequate vehicular sight distance. The applicant proposes swing-in gates on the property line of each dwelling. The applicant should advise that the gates will only swing one way into the property and not out into the public right-of-way. The gates are prohibited from entering into the public right-of-way. Drainage calculations are required, and upon receipt will be sent to the city engineer for review and approval. It should be the responsibility of the applicant and/or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to the plans being released to the construction official. If approved, the applicant shall file a subdivision plat in conformity with a map following law or a deed clearly describing the approved minor subdivision. The chairman and secretary of the planning board shall sign the deed. Surrounding land use. This proposal is located in the Wrigley Park section of the city. The surrounding area is predominantly residential. In conclusion, the applicant estimates the cost of this proposal at approximately $520,000. As your staff review for this proposal, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Deutsch. Ms. Lazara? Would you like to proceed?
Yes, thank you. Hi, everybody. Alexis Lazara. I'm the attorney with Patterson, Habitat for Humanity, and I have an office at 384 Union Boulevard in Totowa, New Jersey. I have 2 experts here today, which we'll have sworn in at some point. But I just wanted to reiterate that this is an application that has come before this board in 2020, June of 2020. I think it came in before you in May 2020, and we did not perfect subdivision. At that time, we had a resolution that indicated that there was no adverse impact on the noise, light, air, traffic, health, or safety in the community, and that it would not impair the intent and purpose of the master plan. We further had testimony that the proposed major site plan and subdivision and bulk variances would have no unusual impact upon the ultimate usage in the land. And we provided testimony at that time through our engineer planner, Joe Golden, and we now have Bill Moran from the same offices that at that time, and we'll do it again tonight, we presented evidence that the strict application of the city ordinances, there be no undue, that the strict application of the ordinance would present undue hardship upon the development of this property that would further our need for the relief requested tonight. Lastly, and I think importantly, we show that the relief could be granted without substantial detriment to the public good, and the approvals would not impair the intent and purpose of the zoning plan and the zoning ordinances of the city of Patterson. Patterson Habitat builds and has been building throughout the city of Patterson low to moderate income housing for those people who are able to meet our guidelines. We provide 0% mortgages to these individuals and give them home ownership opportunity. These 5 houses these six lots, but 5 houses are important towards the furtherance of our development in the city of Patterson. I think Michael or Mr. Deutsch had given I love that he gives that summary. He gave an excellent summary of the exact variances we're looking for today. And I'm going to introduce Bill Moran from Moran Golden, and he is going to be our planner and engineer to give you an overview of what we're looking for today. So, Bill, are you able to turn on your speaker?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Okay, Madam Chairwoman, I would, can he be sworn in?
Yes, where is he?
I think on the top. Raise your hand.
Right next to you? Can you, yeah, okay, I see him. Okay, yes. Melinda?
Please raise your right hand. You swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Say your full name for the record.
William Moran, Moran.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill, Mr. Moran. Can you give a little background of whether or not you've ever testified before this board or board in Patterson before, and possibly give one applicant that you've presented before a name?
Yes, I've provided testimony for variances for Ava's Kitchen, probably 10, 15 years ago before the board.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about your background, why you would, your credentials, why you would be able to testify today?
Yeah, I'm a licensed engineer and planner in New Jersey. I'm also a member of the American Institute of Certified Planners, and have testified before numerous boards throughout New Jersey and New York State.
Okay, we accept him as an expert witness, thank you, please
Thank you.
continue.
Would he be able to share his screen?
Absolutely, please go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, Bill, go ahead.
Okay, here's the basic layout of the site, and showing the area within 200 feet. Here's the existing conditions survey, showing what it was like probably in 2019, prior to any of the work that's being done there now. And here's a basic lot layout of the subdivision. Again, 5 lots to be developed.
I'm just gonna ask, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but can you just maybe enlarge that a little bit? If you can't, it's okay. I'd rather have it up there than not up there, but if you can enlarge it just a little bit.
Yeah, it's a PowerPoint, so I don't have.
Okay, never mind. Alright, never mind then, that's fine.
On it, yeah. So basically, here's the major subdivision layout. Lots 9, 10, 11.01 are a little bit larger. a little bit, are conforming. Lots 11.02 and 11.03 are slightly larger at, 2,600 plus or minus square feet. And then we have the proposed, variance pocket park lot, which is lot 12, which is, gonna be undeveloped as of now. And as Mr. Deutsch stated, we're seeking the variances for the maximum setback from the lot line, which is 7 feet, and we're proposing 8 feet. And then obviously lot 12 is undersized. Also, the required off-street parking is 3.5 spaces. We are providing 3, 2 within the dwelling, and then 1 in the actual driveway. So that's an additional variance we are seeking. And it's outlined pretty much here with the off-street parking, the setback, and lot 12 here.
And Mr. Moran, in your opinion, is that does that meet the same neighborhood specifications that you find in that same neighborhood?
Yes, and it meets the intent of the plan for the development of the fourth ward redevelopment plan.
Thank you. Go ahead. Do you have any other testimony, or did you want to?
Here's the architectural rendering of what they're going to look like. Again, the gates will be swinging inward and not into the right of way. Here's the architectural elevations as described by Mr. Deutsch. And here's the layout of each particular floor. Again, there's enough room at the ground floor for 2 vehicles stacked, and then the second and third floor layouts also. Again, the proposed layout and development meets the intent of the fourth ward redevelopment plan, and granting variances will not be a substantial detriment to that plan. Granting of the major subdivision will have no adverse impacts upon noise, light, air, traffic, or health or safety in the community. It will not impair or intent the purpose of the plan. Applicant further showed that relief should be granted without substantial detriment to the good, and approvals will not impair the plan of zoning and ordinances of the city of Patterson. Granting variance will not adversely affect the rights of neighboring property owners or residents. Variance requested from conditions that are unique to the property in question and is not ordinarily found in the same zone, not created by any action of the applicant. Granting variance will not materially be detrimental or injurious to other property owners or improvements in the neighborhood of the subject property. And I believe that should cover it.
Thank you, Mr. Moran. I just want to add one other thing, is that I know in Mr. Deutsch's write-up, you were looking for drainage calculations, but I think those might have been submitted, so I'll double check on those. But as to the drainage calculations, they'll either be provided or they have been provided, so I'll follow up on that.
If I could follow up, I did speak with Joe Golden, and they were submitted and approved, hence why the construction permits were issued.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you. All right, any
Yes, I'll
questions?
confirm that, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not gonna open it up to the commissioners yet. You have one more witness?
Yes, we do. Okay. So,
Please call that witness.
yes, thank you. So Kathy Benson is our architect who also has appeared before at, in the Patterson, planning board multiple times for Patterson Habitat for Humanity. And I don't know if you want to have her sworn in first.
Yes, please.
Can you hear me? I'm muted.
Okay.
We can hear.
Right hand, you swear affirm testimony you're about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I did.
Say your full name for the record.
Kathy Benson.
Thank you.
So Kathy, as I've stated already on the records, I know, and I've been with you before, that you've appeared already before the Patterson planning board, and if you could give us your credentials to go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. I actually appeared on the original application in May 2020.
Okay, right.
Is in that.
But we need it for this record, so.
I'm a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey and New York. I'm a member of the American Institute of Architects.
Okay, I think that says it all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kathy.
She was an expert witness.
Okay, thank you guys. So Kathy, can you give us an overview of the layout that you've prepared for this fourth ward development?
The layout of the home is a fairly standard Patterson habitat layout, which has come before. The things that are different are we gave it a little character as we did the.
I'm sorry, can I just ask, are you gonna put a plant, any of the
Yeah, I
plants?
was gonna ask, can you like post them or something? Cause I don't see them.
I don't have it on my screen, but
Yeah, Bill, if you don't mind, Bill Moran will show.
you could put the plan up first, the site plan, just to show yeah. So it is a standard rectangle of the Patterson, a standard Patterson habitat home. The front, we listened the last time we were in front of the board before 2020. The board was complaining that people were parking their cars and hanging into the sidewalk, so we have set the garage back some so that if they pull the car in, it won't be on the driveway, on the sidewalk, so it won't cause a hazard there. And we've added some differing roofs and colors to give this little community its own character and set it apart a little bit from the standard home. But it still has the porch in the front, still the same typical layout inside, just a little different look. You can see it's the bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, a bath, kitchen, office, living room, and then downstairs the 2 cars. I think everything has been said. Does anyone have any questions?
Is this also on PowerPoint? Cause I would like to see it, zoomed in a little bit.
Oh, it's on PowerPoint.
Yeah, it's in PowerPoint, yeah.
Okay, alright, then we'll just have to do it.
The plans have been submitted, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure that every commissioner actually has it on the computer at this point, but that's okay. We're looking, we can see it.
So Kathy, can you talk a little bit about the Energy Star?
All of the Habitat homes meet Energy Star requirements. I think Rob knows a little bit more about that than me. They're way above and beyond what's required by code for insulation and for the appliances in the house and everything. I cannot remember the percentage that Energy Star is above. I think it's about 20% better than code at least.
Okay, we'll either ask Rob about that or we'll. So Kathy, does this fit? Talk a little bit about you've used similar we've gotten similar approvals as to this structure, correct?
Yes, the Habitat, I've been with Habitat for a long time. And when I started, I was saying, it was just a box. And, when I started working, I actually was the architect who introduced the porch, which, and then, changing the front to, so it's not just vinyl siding in the front to make it more homey and inviting and a much nicer look to the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. Great.
This follows along with the, Habitat, improving, their product and trying to, this is a little bit more modern take on it. So,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Does anybody have specific questions for Kathy?
I'm going to ask right now, but before I do that, I'm just gonna open it up to the public first.
Okay.
Okay, let me get my notes. If there's anyone in the public that has any questions of either of these witnesses, either the architect or the planner, please call in at 973-321-1579, and the meeting ID is 711-680-001.
And we also have Rob Alvarado available from Patterson Habitat for Humanity on standby and on the line if anybody has questions for him.
Okay. In the interim, Madam Secretary, do we have anybody on the line yet?
Not yet. One moment, please.
Well, while we're waiting to see if anyone's on the line, I'm gonna then open it up to the commissioners for the sake of time. Commissioners, any questions of either of these witnesses? Okay, I don't hear.
Okay, I'm sorry, it took me a minute to unmute myself. This is Commissioner Figueroa.
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner.
I've been a long time, I would say, I really applaud the work that Habitat for Humanity does. From the Barbara Dunn days. I think I'm showing my age at this point, but it's okay. The little area, the pocket park, I'm looking at what's on the screen now. That's definitely, because that's gonna be like open space, like a little area for the tenants, right?
That's what we're proposing right now. It's not set in stone. We're not 100%, but if we were to do anything else with that, we'd have to come back to you to get approvals. But right now, they are looking to use it for a pocket park.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Chairwoman
Thank you,
Northrup, we have no callers at this time.
Okay. Okay, commissioners, anyone else have any questions of either of these witnesses? Okay, hearing none, then I'm gonna ask, Ms. Lazara to please, would you like to summarize?
Yeah, if that's okay with everybody. So,
You too.
we're very proud of this subdivision, and we've gotten all our permits, and we're really geared up and starting work here, and have families that are ready to get approved and get moving into these homes. We believe that, and by our testimony today, I think it's clear that the granting of this subdivision will have no adverse impacts upon the neighborhood. It will fit right in with this neighborhood. Everything Patterson has been about in the 4th Ward, these houses epitomize that. They're beautiful. Kathy Benson has gone above and beyond in adding, listening to the board throughout the years and adding what they believe, and the board has changed over the various years. So, all these little nuances that we've added to it give them character, make them safer, give them a home for people that otherwise would not have a home or be able to be a home owner, I should say. They would be renting, and they would be moving, and it would be less desirable. So with that being said, we hope that you all agree with us, and we look forward to, moving forward if you do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any commissioner like to make a motion on this application?
Madam Chair, we need a motion on the major subdivision and then a motion on the site plan and bulk variances.
Okay, we need it on both, okay, good enough. Then, may I have a motion on the subdivision? Anyone?
I'd like to introduce the motion on the subdivision.
Yes, please, make a motion for subdivision, Commissioner Figueroa, please.
On the application for the subdivision, major subdivision plan, and I have to go
For Patterson Habitat for Humanity.
Patterson Habitat for Humanity, 142-144, 144-146, 148-150, and 152 Governor Street. Block 3603, lots 9, 10, 11, and 12. I move that the board attorney prepare resolution granting site plan, subdivision approval.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Was that Commissioner Cleaves?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioners on the subdivision. Commissioners, Commissioner Cleaves.
Yes.
Commissioner Santana. Yes. Commissioner Amar.
Yes.
Commissioner Figueroa.
Yes.
And Chairwoman Northrup.
Yes.
You may proceed.
Okay, may I have a motion now on the plans? Commissioners? Okay. I'm sorry, that's all right, Commissioner Santana, go ahead, please.
Okay, I would like to make a motion for approval for the application of Patterson Habits for Humanity, 146 North First Street, Patterson, New Jersey. Property located at 142-144-146, 148-150, and 152 Governor Street, Block 3603, lots 9 and 10, 11 and 12. Be approval subject to site plan approval, book variance to the engineer. Hudson Exo Passaic Soil Conservation Service, and the County of Passaic Planning Board, major subdivision approval.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
Madam Chair, this is for the site plan and bulk variance. Major subdivision, we already put it on.
Yeah, it's just site plan and bulk variance, correct. Okay, I heard, Commissioner Figueroa second it first, so I'll go with that, and then roll call, please.
Actually, I heard Cleaves. Am I correct, Emelinda?
No, I actually heard Yvette. Let's go with Yvette Figueroa, please. Okay, go ahead. Roll call, please.
I know, give me one moment, please.
Okay?
Commissioners, Commissioner Cleaves,
Yes.
Commissioner Santana,
Yes.
Commissioner Amar, Commissioner Amar,
Yes, I'm sorry.
thank you. Your vote, please.
Oh, I said yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Figueroa
Yes.
and Chairwoman Northrup.
Yes.
This application has been granted. You may proceed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, congratulations.
Appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you, you do as well. Okay, so, I believe we'll move on. Are we gonna be doing, Equality Realty Inc. next? Mr. Deutsch?
Yes, Quality Realty.
Okay, all right. I just see some here. Okay, the applicant proposes to develop a total of 49 new apartments on the mezzanine level and second through seventh floors of the existing building, which has a lot size of 12,583.1 square feet, on 150-156 Market Street is an existing 7-story building with a basement level and commercial space to remain on the first floor and the mezzanine level. The upper floors were used for office spaces in the past. The basement level is proposed to contain unfinished storage areas, a trash and recycle room, an optional trash chute location, and a tenant amenity space. The mezzanine level is proposed to contain the existing commercial tenant space, 2 one-bedroom units, a tenant amenity space, and a tenant fitness area. 6 one-bedroom units and 3 two-bedroom units is proposed on each of the second floor through sixth floor, and 2 two-bedroom units are proposed for the 7th floor of the building. The parcel is located on the south side of Market Street, a county road within the B4 Central Business District. The building has an existing non-conforming floor area ratio of 6.5, which is greater than the required floor area ratio of 5 for this district. Variances are requested for the following amenity space as 10,650 square foot of tenant amenity open space is required and 4,256 square feet is proposed, and parking as 92 off-street parking spaces are required and 0 off-street parking spaces are proposed. It requires site plan approval and bulk variances. This is their first appearance, and as I'm reading that address, I realized that at some point I worked there, so I'm very familiar with this building. All right, so who will be giving us the review this evening?
I will, Madam Chair.
Oh, okay. All right, so Ms. Fazbud, okay, you'll be giving us that complete review then, correct?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead and proceed. First of all, who is representing this applicant?
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Alan Mariconda, 726 Market Street, Patterson.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, you may continue, Ms. Fazbud.
Property taxes and surcharges are paid to date. Abraham Grossberger holds 100% of the stock of Quality Realty Incorporated. Lakeline Surveying has prepared a survey dated November 14, 2019. As indicated on the survey, the trapezoid-shaped parcel is located on the south side of Market Street and has an angled frontage of 96.47 feet on this street. The subject property has a total area of 12,583.1 square feet or 0.2 acres. Evans Architect has prepared a 4-page site plan revised on February 18, 2022. Page number S-1 is a site plan and indicates the site plan, the tax map, zoning ordinance data, and notes. The site plan indicates that the building is nearly built up to all of the property lines as it covers 97% of the lot. A note on the plan indicates that the entire site and site perimeter is to be equipped with video security throughout public areas and site lighting along the travel public way and parking area. Surveillance cameras are to connect to the City of Paterson Police Department system. Drawing A-1 indicates that the 2nd through 6th floors and the partial 7th floor are converted to 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom residential units. The 2nd through 6th floor plan are identical in layout, and they contain 6 one-bedroom units and 3 two-bedroom units, which are located on both sides of an L-shaped corridor. The one-bedroom units have areas of 627, 655, 682, 736, and 748 square feet, and they include a kitchen, a living and a dining area, a full bathroom, a laundry, and a mechanical closet. The two-bedroom units have areas of 859 square feet, 924, and 947 square feet, and they contain a kitchen, a living and a dining area, a full bathroom, a laundry, and a mechanical closet. 2 elevators, 2 internal staircases, a trash and recycle room, a janitor room, an optional trash chute location, the existing exterior fire escapes, and the existing skylight are also indicated on the 2nd through 6th floors. The partial 7th floor plan indicates 2 two-bedroom units with an area of 920 and 954 square feet, and they include a kitchen, a living and a dining area, a full bathroom, a laundry and a mechanical closet. The floor plan also indicates an internal staircase, elevator, trash and recycle room, an optional trash chute location, and the building's air shaft. Drawing A-2 indicates the first floor and the mezzanine plan. The first floor plan consists of of existing commercial tenant spaces. No change of use and layout are proposed for this floor. However, the applicant is proposing a residential package area and mailboxes on this floor. The building entrance and vestibule, the lobby area, the concierge, the bathroom, the internal staircases, and 2 elevators are all existing on this floor. The mezzanine floor plan consists of 2 one-bedroom units, the existing commercial tenant spaces, 1,400 square feet of tenant amenity space, and 1,086 square feet of tenant fitness area. The one-bedroom units have areas of 871 square feet and 1,300 square feet, and they contain a kitchen, a living and a dining area, a full bathroom, and a laundry mechanical closet. There are a total of 49 proposed residential units, and they all meet or exceed the minimum floor area of 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom units. Drawing A-2 indicates the basement floor plan as well as the building's front elevation. The existing unfinished storage areas, 2 elevators, 2 internal staircases, a proposed trash and recycle room, an optional trash chute location, and a proposed 1,700 square foot of tenant amenity area are indicated on the basement floor plan. The front elevation indicates a 6-story building with a mezzanine level. In addition to the building's front entrance, 3 existing storefronts are indicated on the front elevation plan. Also, an existing balcony measuring approximately 67.5 feet in length is indicated on the second floor of the building. The applicant proposes to remove all the retail signage on the first floor and replace the storefronts with appropriate historic characters as per Downtown Central Historic District guidelines. Also, the applicant proposes to power wash the cornice and the masonry facade of the building. In order to provide adequate light and air for the residential units on the mezzanine level, the applicant shall remove all the signage and the exterior materials blocking windows on this level from the building facade. No interior columns or materials shall obstruct the light and airflow in the residential units of the mezzanine level. The Downtown Central Historic District is an overlay zone with the B4 zone. The Paterson Master Plan encourages and the zoning ordinance has been amended to reflect that residential units are a permitted use in the B4 zone of the city. Any alteration to the exterior of the building requires approval from the Patterson Division of Historic Preservation. An application has been submitted to the Historic Preservation Commission. The Planning and Zoning Division has been informed that the applicant has submitted plans for review and that a letter with comments will be prepared prior to the meeting date. Variances are requested for the following. Amenity space as 10,650 square feet of tenant amenity in open space is required and 4,256 square feet is proposed. And parking is 49 off-street parking spaces are required and 0 off-street parking spaces are proposed. The floor area ratio of this building is higher than the maximum permitted for the B4 zone of the city. As this is an existing building, the floor area ratio is considered an existing non-conforming condition. The applicant has proposed 3 tenant amenity spaces in this building, 1 fitness area and an amenity space on the mezzanine level and 1 amenity space on the basement level for a total of 4,256 square feet. The applicant has agreed to comply with the building code requirements to convert 1,700 square feet of the unfinished basement area to an appropriate amenity space for the residential tenants. The Patterson Parking Authority is able to provide off-street parking spaces in both service lots and parking decks to residential tenants and owners residing and seeking to use their personal vehicles within the central business district. The applicant shall determine the number of tenants using their personal car to make an agreement with the parking authority to address the tenants' parking needs. The availability of the parking transportation and the close proximity of the business and retail stores within this area not only promotes walkability and reduces usage of personal vehicles, but enables people to live at a higher density in the downtown area without additional traffic. Lack of off-street parking spaces shall not block progress to access a vibrant downtown area and the redevelopment of existing buildings for the benefits of City of Patterson's residents. The cost of parking shall be negotiated with those needing full-time parking provided by the parking authority and the building owner. The first floor retail spaces will remain unchanged. Any changes to the use and layout of this floor and the mezzanine existing spaces shall be reviewed by the Division of Planning and Zoning. The residential units shall not become occupied until a certificate of occupancy for the building is obtained from the City of Patterson official. Market Street is a two-way county road. The submission of the application to the County Planning Board is pending the approval of this proposal. It shall be the responsibility of the applicant and or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating that the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to the plans being released to the construction official. This proposal is in the central business district of the city and across the city street from the city hall. The surrounding neighborhood is composed of many older buildings first built as commercial structures with commercial uses on the first floor and offices and or retail above. Although the first floors are mostly devoted to the commercial uses, some buildings have vacant units or contain existing residential uses or storage areas on the upper floors. The intent of the B4 district is to provide a pedestrian-friendly environment and to permit a mix of uses of businesses and multifamily residences. Therefore, the adaptive reuse of the upper floors of buildings for residential purposes are encouraged within the central business district. In conclusion, the applicant estimates the cost of this proposal at approximately $6 million. The planning board has approved a development proposal located on 114 through 118 Allison Street within the B4 Central Business District to develop a total of 30 new apartments on the second through fourth floors of the existing building on July 8, 2019, in addition to other projects on Market Street. This was the staff review for this project.
Thank you. Mr. Maricondo?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening again, Commissioners. Thank you for hearing us on this application. As you noted, Madam Chair, in your opening, this is an office building that's been in existence for several generations, and in fact, has been one of the centerpieces of the downtown office district for many, many years. In fact, my firm utilized the mezzanine space itself when I operated two different locations for a period of time in the 1990s, so I'm also very familiar with this building as well. This really was commonly known to us many years ago as the Patterson Lawyers Building because it was essentially occupied almost 90%, I would say, by attorneys above the ground floor retail for a long time. That has modified, of course, as the years have gone by. And at this point, my applicant was a very forward-thinking individual in terms of his development of commercial real estate and residential components. Saw that the trend has been, as alluded to in your planner's report, to develop the upper levels of many of the downtown buildings with residential above the commercial use, which is considered very good planning within the B4 and the historic character of the downtown business district. And it's similar to what is going on in many, many municipalities, urban centers throughout the state of New Jersey. So we're very excited about this project. The ability to provide quality new housing in the downtown business district, which of course is within a few feet of the bus transportation and just about a block or so from our train station. So the ability for commuters to live and work downtown and travel out of the city if necessary is readily available right at their fingertips. So we feel very good about that. The planner also alluded to the ability for the parking authority to work with us, which they have been doing on all the downtown residential developments. Again, your planner referred to some of the projects on Market Street and Main Street that are in the process of the same type of conversion, adaptive reuse. Again, we think this is a very appropriate development for this site as we move forward. That being said, I'll be calling Mr. Evans as our first witness.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Say your full name for the record.
Yes, Matthew Evans, architect planner, 470 Chamberlain Ave, Patterson, New Jersey.
And we accept him as an expert witness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Matt, if you would, give us an overview. The planner has done an excellent report, obviously, in terms of describing the project. Could you give us an overview of how we plan to complete this adaptive reuse.
Okay, I'll share the plan. Can you see the plan?
Well, I can see it, but it's
Okay.
minuscule.
I'm gonna make it bigger. All right, so basically we have, the first sheet, of the plans, it's sheet S1, and we have the zoning data, tax map, site location, and then we have the, survey, which is, also the site plan for this, project. As mentioned also, this would be all interior alterations, and it's a change of use on the inside of the building, so there will be no, additions or alterations on the exterior of the building, with the exception of anything required by this board or any other board required for this adaptive reuse. The building's existing, a 5-story with a penthouse above, and as I mentioned, all work would be internal. Also, we have video and surveillance and outdoor cameras for the all the common areas on this development. Going to sheet A1, we have going to the 2nd through 6th floor plan. Let me zoom in a little bit. So they're typical from these floor plans from the 2nd through 6th floor. They're all the same. You can see the shaded. I shaded the apartments to give it clarity, and also we have dotted lines where the old offices were that would be removed. So going to some of the units, let's say unit A is a 1-bedroom unit. We have the interior's 736 square feet. So we have a large bedroom, large living and dining kitchen, open floor plan. We have handicap bathrooms for all these units to all be accessible. We have separate mechanicals for each tenant, and that would mean that they would all be independently operated for heating and cooling, central air and heating. And so all those units would have that. They all meet the minimum requirement for square feet, for 600 for a 1-bedroom and over 900 for a 2-bedroom unit. Some are even larger. There was old common bathrooms in the core of the building, which we would be removing, and we create a janitor's room and a trash recycling room on each floor. And we have the ability to provide a optional trash chute for the refuse on each floor. Going to the next plan, we have we have the 7th floor plan, basically showing there's existing roof areas. It's basically a penthouse. It's existing offices that would be removed, and we're putting a 2-bedroom, two 2-bedroom units up on that level. The elevator accesses, one of the elevators accesses that level, and that would be for those 2 existing tenant spaces. Going to the next one, showing the plan. But we have the first floor plan, as mentioned. The commercial spaces would remain. There'll be no changes with the exception of residential package room and mailboxes. There's a large existing lobby which has a concierge station, and the 2 elevators access directly off of Market Street. Then there's a central stair in the center of the building, and then there's also stairs, on the in the rear. So all the egress elements would remain. Sprinklers would be updated as needed for the proposed use. showing the mezzanine plan, we have an existing mezzanine, and that would be converted to 2 apartments in the front facing Market Street. We have 2 one-bedroom apartments, and then with the remainder of that mezzanine, we would create amenity space, which would be a fitness center, and then amenity space also for other uses, meeting rooms and gathering space. And then there's an existing commercial space in the rear that would remain, that has a lobby and a double height space that would not be changed as part of this application. And the basement is quite large, has high ceilings. We have additional amenity space in the basement, and then we have a lot of storage in the basement. We have existing unfinished storage, and then there's an existing boiler room and existing elevators. Both elevators go to the basement level, and then we would have our trash recycling room in the basement area. So we also showing the front elevation of the building. Basically, it's built after the fire of Paterson, and it's classical architecture, and it would remain. It's basically limestone granite facade. The storefronts are existing. The main entrance to the apartments or upper floors is existing, and then the rest of that would remain, just cleaning up the facade for the new development which we're proposing.
And then Matt, with regard to the first floor retail space, that will remain, but you're gonna do some work to ensure that the signage and the storefronts fit the character of the historic nature of this building in the downtown district?
Yes, and any new signage or any new facade work would need to be sent to the Historic Preservation for approval and construction.
And obviously, we have submitted that package to the Historic District Commission, and we have not received any negative feedback whatsoever from that request. We expect to work with them in terms of the exterior, is that correct?
Yes, whatever, needs to be done for historic preservation, we would meet.
Right. Now, with regard to zoning, obviously, we're B4 with the downtown central start. Is it essentially an overlay into the B4 zone?
Yeah, it's basically an adaptive reuse of the existing building. It's an overlay. There are some existing non-conforming conditions which would not change as far as floor area ratio, but that's a pre-existing non-conforming condition. The amenity space, we provide 4,256. Obviously, we can provide more if needed, but I believe that being that they're only 1 and 2 bedroom units and they're large units, that they provide adequate space within those units.
And you've set up the amenity space in different parts of the building, actually, right?
Yes, so we have it on the mezzanine, the basement, and so those areas are conducive for the tenant.
Right. And that storage area you alluded to in the basement is going to be available to all the tenants?
Yes.
Okay. Then again, the parking authority, of course, will be available, as the planner alluded to, with regard to any needs that are required to work with that authority to have tenant space available within their parking lots, which obviously are literally, some of them are right in the back of this building, is that right?
Yes.
So again, with the rear egress of this building, commissioners, you really back up right up to some of the open parking lot areas for the parking authority. And of course, also, Matt, we're right in front of the bus stop on Market Street?
Yeah, so we're on Market Street across from City Hall. The bus comes, different buses travel through Market Street, and also a few blocks away towards the train station. We have also that access to the train station a few blocks away. So I think it's
more than available for public transportation.
Yes, and all the amenities in the neighborhood downtown. We have supermarkets, we have stores, shopping, doctors' offices, other things. So really neat. You can be all those amenities are included in the.
Right, there's a wide range of professional and retail services downtown. Still, maybe not as many professional offices as there were back in the 80s and 90s, but still available. And Matt, again, the intention of the B4 district is to basically, is it fair to say, provide a pedestrian-friendly type of environment?
Yes.
And then, so we do that mix of commercial and residential is one of the goals of that B4 district.
Yes.
And Planner alluded to other developments, so this is a trend within the Main Street, Market Street area, which is fair to say?
Yes, we're approved for 114 Ellison Street, which is across from City Hall. On Washington Street, that building has been completed, and work is being done on the exterior in accordance with the historic preservation, and believe that this fits in with the neighborhood. We've done several buildings on Main Street, Broadway, and
actually, there are other approvals on Market Street directly across the street as we move down towards Memorial Drive, which this board has recently approved, similar in nature with residential above existing retail. Madam Chair, that would conclude Mr. Evans' testimony at this time.
Okay, how many other witnesses do you have?
Just the applicant to confirm, that's it.
Okay, I for one, think this is exactly what this building was meant to have, is mixed use, because there's a lot of vacant space down there in Patterson, and the upper floor is just going to waste. I'm gonna open it up to the public for, and actually, I just wanna say something, the mezzanine level that you're talking about, to go out. Excuse me, I'm talking. Excuse me, I'm still talking, hello. The mezzanine level that you're discussing, that goes out to the parking lots, that actually was my office at one time, so I know exactly what you're talking about. In any event, I am gonna open this up, okay, to the public for questions of either applicant, either witness, I'm sorry. Actually, there's only one witness, which would be Mr. Evans, the architect. You can call in at 973-321-1579. The meeting ID is 711-680-001. And, I'm gonna give it, 2 minutes for call-ins and 3 minutes for questions. Do we have any callers?
At this moment, we do not, but if anything does occur, I will advise, but you can proceed with the commissioners.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to see if any of the commissioners have any questions. I just wanna say that I personally, I just have to give my own personal outlook on this for a moment. Downtown Patterson, our downtown Patterson falls very short, I think, of some of the things that other larger cities have been doing with the mixed use. And I think it's long overdue. This is actually a building that's crying out for that. There's plenty of parking in the back. They can work out with Mr. Perez. That's my own personal comments on this and feelings on this. But I will open it up to the commissioners for questions. Commissioners?
I actually concur with you, Chairwoman. This building, actually, I also used to work there years ago. So it's really nice to see that it's gonna have future use in serving and having other generations come in and enjoy it. It is indeed a beautiful building. The architecture is gorgeous. So I just have a question as far as and you may have covered it, but about the ADA compliance, what features are set or for this?
Okay, well, what we have is, the building has 2 elevators, which is, a plus for this building. And also, it's at grade, so, there's no impediment to accessing the upper floors. And also, within the new units, they all need to be, handicap accessible units, and they will be designed with handicap bathrooms and kitchens, adaptable, accessible units.
Okay, and you probably also went over the security. There's going to be secured.
Yeah, there'll be in the public areas. There'll be central cameras throughout, with the ability to connect to the Patterson Police Department system. So, that would be throughout all the public areas.
All right, sounds good to me. Thank you.
Okay, commissioners, any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
So, sorry if I
Commissioner
missed it.
Santana. Go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry if I missed about the units. Are gonna have the laundromat inside or is gonna be out, like the specific
Laundry
room?
room, not a laundromat.
I'm sorry, the laundry room.
Yeah, common laundry, would be, for the tenants
Where we
Okay.
located, Matt?
in the basement.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
Any
you.
any other questions? Somebody's got their microphone on, because I can hear some talking in the
I
background.
just put mine on, but, that's not me.
No, that's not you. It's definitely not you. I'm gonna ask that everybody else mute themselves, because it's becoming a little crazy here right now. I still hear it, so.
I'm going to reach, with your permission, Chairwoman, very briefly, I do have objectors on the line. Mute your microphones, wait till I call your name. Okay, no one will speak, thank you.
Are these objectors to this particular application?
No, Madam Chair, and we have no callers on this application.
Okay, so if there's no other questions are there any other questions? Let me ask you that from the commissioners. On this
I'm
application.
gonna just ask a quick question, about the parking. I know there are other projects that are in the process of being developed in downtown area. So, to what extent have the applicant have any communication with the parking authority Patterson? Because I'm wondering whether there's gonna be enough spaces for
Right.
this, you know.
Right. Yep, we feel very comfortable with it, Commissioner. We've already spoken to Mr. Perez on an informal basis, and our practice has been most recently over the last several years to let the applicant and the proposed tenants come to a figure, a determination about the number of tenants that would be having personal cars, so that once we have a grasp on the number of units requiring vehicle space, then we would make the appropriate agreement with the Patterson Parking Authority. So we address the parking needs on an as-needed basis. And that way the written agreement with the parking authority reflects something realistic in terms of the needs and the costs, so that it's reasonable for all parties concerned. So we do think that one of the big benefits of the downtown business district residential development in Patterson that we're beginning to see, thankfully, over the last couple of years, and also in other major cities throughout the state, is that many of these tenants are they're availing themselves of the opportunity for public transportation, and you couldn't have closer public transportation. This is right outside your doorstep, and the train station is a 1 or 2 block walk. So it's ideal for Patterson residents who either want to live and work in Patterson or want to live here, avail themselves of all the amenities and business entities downtown, while perhaps working out of Patterson and coming back in the evening to enjoy the benefit of having all those services in the downtown district. So we're very confident with the combination of public transportation, the street parking at night, which is available, and the ability to work this final agreement with the parking authority with Mr. Perez, who's been very cooperative. It will function very smoothly in our opinion.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. I think in a building like that, it's been my, I don't know, it's been my experience to see these people. None of them really, not too many, I don't wanna say none of them, but not too many of them have cars. They're looking to move into an area where they have access to mass transportation, but it's good to know that they can work with Tony Perez. Okay, so, any other questions? Okay, hearing none. Would you like to summarize, Mr. Mariconda?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just briefly, we feel very strong about this application, as we've indicated from our opening, and as the chair has indicated and other commissioners as well. This is an opportunity to bring this really a very, very important building downtown, one of the landmark buildings, back to life on a full basis from ground floor all the way up to the top. And again, it's continuing the planning and zoning trend that we've seen downtown. There's a need. People do want to live in the downtown business district. Obviously, we're also close to the historic Great Falls district. So this is a trend that we want to continue with this project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion on this application, please?
Madam Chair, I'd like to enter a
Yes.
motion.
Yes,
On
please.
the application of Quality Realty Inc., 116 39th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11232, for the property address located at 150-156 Market Street, Block 6203, Lot 2. I move that the board attorney prepare a resolution granting site plan approval, bulk variances, city engineer, Patterson Division of Historic Preservation, and Passaic County Planning Board, since Market Street is a county road. I don't think there were any conditions, though. I think we lost
Our
James.
chairman, is away for a moment. Let's just hold off for a minute. Thank
Okay.
you very much. We will
There
return.
are no conditions, Commissioner.
No, who's away?
Wait for the chairwoman. You may proceed.
No, wait, I'm asking, Mr. Aquaviva, did you hear any conditions? I didn't.
No, I just said, no, I didn't hear any.
Okay, I couldn't hear it, but okay. All right, so do I have a second? I'll make the second, okay? Roll call, please.
Commissioners, Commissioner Cleves, your vote, please.
Yes.
Commissioner Santana.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Amar.
Yes.
Commissioner Amar. I'll come back. Commissioner Figueroa.
Yes.
Commissioner Amar. I need your vote, please. Okay, one moment. I think I may.
I think we've lost her, because I don't see her.
All right, give me one moment, please. I will get her back. Thank you.
And Madam Chair, we need her back. We don't have a quorum without her.
I
That's
know,
exactly
that's why
right.
I'm asking to give me a moment. I will get her back. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
I'm working on it. Thank you for your patience, everyone. She is trying to connect. Thank you. Are you there, Commissioner?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I apologize.
That's okay. I'm glad you're back. Commissioner Moore, your vote on, it's okay. Commissioner Moore, your vote on this application is?
I would say yes.
Thank you. Chairwoman Northrup,
Yes.
5 votes in the affirmative. This application has been granted.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay. Okay. I believe now we're moving into, third application, which is, Ryerson Real Estate LLC, 192, 196 Ryerson Avenue, and 198-206 Ryerson Avenue, block 1205, lots 29 and 30. And on the combined lots of 16,600 square feet, the applicant proposes a new 2-story addition to the south of the existing 1-story 7-Eleven convenience store. The first floor of the new addition proposes a liquor store with a storage area. The second floor proposes two bedroom units and a 1-bedroom unit for a total of 3 residential units. The proposed use of the liquor store is a conditional use within the B1 neighborhood business district. Variances are requested for the rear yard setback and off-street parking. A minimum of 20 feet of rear yard setback is required and 0 feet is proposed. A total of 43 off-street parking spaces are required and 16 parking spaces, including 2 handicap parking spaces, are proposed on the surface lots on the northern side and southern side of the subject property. It requires conditional use approval, site plan approval, and bulk variances. This is their first appearance. And who is representing them this evening?
Good evening, Madam Chair. Again, Alan Maricons on behalf of the applicant.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and Ms. Farsboot, are you going to be reading the review?
Yes.
Okay, then you can proceed. Go ahead, please.
Property taxes and surcharges are paid today. Vipul Patel holds 100% of the stock of Ryerson Real Estate LLC. DMC Associates has prepared a survey dated August 15, 2013. The survey indicates that the subject property is composed of lots 29 and 30 and is located at the southeast intersection of Chamberlain Avenue and Ryerson Avenue, opposite the Walgreens site. The combined lots have frontage of 200 feet along Ryerson Avenue, a rear yard measuring 201 feet, northern side lot line of 80.77 feet, and southern side lot line of 84.06 feet along Molly Ann's Brook. A 1-story operating 7-Eleven convenience store and includes dumpster area, 26 parking spaces, including 2 handicap parking spaces, and an easement partially on lot 29 for the Molly Ann's Brook exists on the site. In addition, a right-of-way easement for egress and egress by vehicles and customers for the benefit of lot 30 exists on the northern side of the subject property on lot 31. Ryerson Avenue provides an access driveway to the subject property. The combined lots have an area of 16,600 square feet or 0.3 acres. GB Engineering LLC has prepared a 1-page site plan revised on February 24, 2022, which indicates the existing and proposed site plan, the area location map, the precast dry belt, the trench detail zoning map, and the zoning data table and notes. The details for the trench drain, the lighting, the concrete pad and dumpster, the fence and retaining wall, the sign, the typical curb and parking pavement are also shown on this page. The proposed site plan indicates that the proposed 2-story addition on the southern side of the existing 7-Eleven store is to be located 0 feet from the eastern property line and 7.36 feet from the western property line. The L-shaped new addition has an area of 3,178 square feet containing the first floor liquor store and the second floor residential units. A proposed staircase at the rear of the building provides access from the ground level to the second floor residential dwelling units. 280 square foot enclosed refuse area are located on the southeast and southwest of the property, and the 0.8 foot high retaining wall and the 6 foot high wooden fence on top of the retaining wall are located along the eastern property line between the addition and the edge of the surface parking lot pavement. A concrete walkway is proposed along the liquor store frontage and extended to the rear of the new addition. A 24-foot curb cut provides vehicular access to the southern surface parking lot. A proposed curb on the right-of-way considered for grass areas extended from the handicap parking to the proposed curb cut. This project proposes a total of 14 regular parking spaces. 7 parking spaces measured 9 feet by 18 feet are located on the southern surface parking lot, and 7 parking spaces are located on the northern surface parking lot through a right-of-way access easement granted by Lot 31. 2 existing handicap parking spaces on the western side of the subject property are encroaching to the city right-of-way. The location of these handicap parking spaces are not ideal, as they pose threats to the safety of the customers. In addition, there is not a wide enough walkway along the western side of the 7-Eleven building for the passage of the customers. In order to provide a continuous walkway along the western side of 7-Eleven for a safe and convenient customers' access to the liquor store or to the 7-Eleven store, the applicant shall relocate the handicap parking spaces to the surface parking lots and provide a concrete walkway on the west side of the building. In the B1 Neighborhood Business District, liquor stores are permitted conditional use subject to sections 500-5.39, 500-4.1, and 4.16 of the Land Development Ordinance and the authorization granted by the City Planning Board. According to section 500-5.39 of the Land Development Ordinance, in the B1 district, any property line of a lot used for a liquor store shall be at least 200 feet from the nearest property line of any lot usable for a theater, auditorium, or other place of public assembly capable of sitting over 300 persons, church, hospital for humans, college, school, public library, or institutions for dependents or children, or any public playground or athletic field. The subject property is not within the 200 feet buffer of any of the above mentioned uses. Also, when a liquor store is adjacent to residential structure, the ordinance requires for screening and fencing consistent with the design standards in the Article 4 and as required by the approving board. The applicant has proposed a 6-foot-high board-on-board fence on top of the proposed retaining wall along the eastern property line between the subject property and the existing 3-story residential building on Lot 2 to provide an adequate fencing to comply with the conditions. Section 500-4.1 contained in the Zoning and Land Development Ordinance indicates that for the mixed-use residential and commercial uses, the commercial uses shall be located on the ground floor and the residential units to be located only above and or behind the commercial in the same building. Also, each use shall independently meet the minimum ordinance requirements such as the lot area, parking, etc. According to the site plan and the architectural floor plan, the proposal satisfies each of these conditions. Section 500-4.16 of the Land Development Ordinance indicates that in the B1 district, a single business establishment shall occupy no more than 5,000 square feet of floor area and shall not be located above the first floor, excluding business and professional offices. The applicant is proposing an area of 3,178 square feet for the first floor liquor store, which meets the minimum floor area requirement. The applicant has noted on the site plan that the subject property is located in Zone X as per flood insurance rate map dated April 17, 2020, and the nearest flood elevation is indicated as 128.25 feet. The city engineer and the construction official shall determine whether any portion of the proposal is within the floodplain of Mullions Brook. Michael Romani has prepared a 4-page architectural plan submission. Drawing 1 of 4 indicates the existing ground floor plan, which contains a 3,065 square foot 7-Eleven store. Drawing 2 is the proposed ground floor plan, which indicates a 3,240 square foot addition to the east side of the existing 7-Eleven building. The ground floor of the new addition contains a liquor store with shelves, storage, and includes exterior staircase, a mechanical room, and the bathroom. No change to the interior of the 7-Eleven is proposed except a partial wall opening and an internal door which connects the 7-Eleven and the liquor store internally. The northern and the western entrances spaces provide access to the 7-Eleven and the liquor store respectively. The ground floor plan also indicates a rear door for the liquor store. No lighting detail and indication of security and surveillance cameras are provided on the plans for this proposal. The applicant shall advise about the interior and the exterior security cameras and surveillance system for the subject property. Drawing 3 is the proposed second floor plan, which indicates the second-story addition to the west side of the building. The second floor plan indicates a one-bedroom unit and 2 two-bedroom units. The one-bedroom unit is 811 square feet, and it contains a kitchen, a living and a dining area, a washer and dryer, a mechanical room, and the full bathroom. The two-bedroom units are 1,146 square feet and 1,105 square feet, and they contain a kitchen, a living and a dining area, a washer and dryer, a mechanical room, and the full bathroom. The access to the second-story residential unit is through an enclosed exterior staircase. Drawing 4 is the elevation plan. The existing Chamberlain Avenue and Ryerson Avenue elevation plans indicate no change to the facade of the existing 7-Eleven store. The proposed Chamberlain Avenue elevation plan indicates the second-story addition beyond, located on the east side of the existing 7-Eleven. The proposed Ryerson Avenue elevation indicates a stucco finish and exterior lighting fixtures for the facade of the two-story addition. The enclosed exterior staircase is not shown on this elevation plan. The height of the two-story addition is indicated as 28.25 feet to the top of the parapet. Variances are requested for the following. Rear yard setback as 20 feet of rear yard setback is required and 0 feet is proposed. And parking as 43 off-street parking spaces are required and 16 parking spaces are proposed. The retail hours of operation for the 7-Eleven store is indicated as 24 hours, 7 days a week. The applicant shall provide a certificate of occupancy for the 7-Eleven store. No hours of operation is indicated for the liquor store. The planning board commissioners may set the hours of operation for the proposed liquor store. It shall be the responsibility of the applicant and or the preparer of the plan to obtain a letter from the city engineer indicating that the plans have been satisfactorily reviewed prior to the plans being released to the construction official. This proposal is in the total west section of the city. The B1 zone with frontage on Chamberlain Avenue extends from Preakness Avenue at the west to Manchester Avenue to the east. An R1 zone is located on the north side of Chamberlain Avenue, and an R2 zone is located to the north and east of this proposal. A mixed-use zone and an R2 zone are located to the south. In conclusion, the applicant estimates the cost of this proposal at approximately $1 million. The applicant shall incorporate the design standards stated in Section 400-2 of the City of Patterson Land Development Ordinance on the site and within the building. The applicant should request that the tax assessor merge the two lots into one lot number. On a field inspection conducted on February 24, 2022, the rear and sides of the site were not adequately maintained. Evidence of trash and debris not being placed in the dumpsters was apparent. The applicant shall ensure that the site is maintained properly and kept free of trash and debris at all times. We received pictures at 4 o'clock today showing that the site is cleaned up. The planning board recommended approval for a partial street vacation of Ryerson Avenue on April 16, 2008. If this street vacation was obtained from the City Council, the southern half of the proposed street vacation of Ryerson Avenue could be vacated to the adjacent property owners or owner. However, there is no evidence that the street vacation was obtained from the City Council. The planning board approved a Walgreens store with a drive-through lane on Chamberlain Avenue between Preakness Avenue and Ryerson Avenue on June 17, 2009. This was the staff report for this proposal.
Thank you. Mr. Maricondo?
Yes, thank you again, Madam Chair. For the record again, Al Maricondo, 726 Market Street, Patterson. It's on behalf of the applicant. What I'd like to do before we move forward with our testimony, touch upon a couple of the points raised in the report. It is correct that this site was the subject of a 2007 application whereby the 7-Eleven was approved, granted zoning approval, and there was site plan and street vacate approval approval sought at this time. I wasn't able to locate the street vacate, documentation or have sufficient time to search the, city council records. I did do an Oprah request to see if that street vacate was in fact ever recorded, so that's an ongoing request in terms of one of the comments that staff had made. So that initially covers that point. We also wanted to point out that the 7-Eleven that this board granted some 15 years ago, actually now, or thereabouts, was a conversion from a social club that had liquor service at one time as well. The 7-Eleven has definitely served this community for a good number of years, and the liquor store would be a companion commercial use in the B1 neighborhood business district. The liquor store would not only obviously sell packaged liquor, but other products that are associated with liquor stores, small food items, candy and so forth, and various other items that are common to such packaged stores. Any approval by this board of a liquor store usage as a second use on the site would also, I want to make sure the board understands, would have to go through the second step of the Patterson ABC board hearing to present the application to that board to determine whether this is an appropriate site from the ABC board's perspective, and whether the proposed occupant of the liquor store would meet all the criteria and conditions that the ABC puts on any new proposed liquor license operator. And all package stores in Patterson have to close by 10 p.m. So that's an automatic, that's a given. The 7-Eleven serves 24-hour basis, which is very typical, and I believe it's worked very successfully as well. With respect to the debris, we did provide proof to your staff late today of the latest cleanup. My clients had somewhat of a challenge there because there are multiple refuse containers, but the ones that face the public roads right away, public roadway, whatever, have also been used by the members of the general public. And of course, they're not very careful sometimes to ensure that when garbage is put in those receptacles that it actually gets into the receptacle. So my clients have to work on a regular basis to keep the entire site and the surrounding public street and sidewalk clean. So he keeps working at it, and he will continue to do so. So that's essentially it. We do agree that there was a Walgreens approved, of course, along Chamberlain and Preakness and Ryerson. So we've got comparable service businesses in the area, which is really typical for the B1 neighborhood business district. That being said, so I touched upon some of the points that were raised by the staff report. I'd like to call Mr. Mike Romanek as our first witness. Madam Chair will be calling Mr. Romanek, Mr. Tom Stearns from GB Engineering, and the applicant. So
Okay, please call. Yes.
Raise your right. You swear a firm testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Say your full name for the record, please.
Yes, Michael Romanek. I have an office at 291 Crooks Avenue in Patterson. I'm a licensed architect and planner.
Thank you.
Yes, and we accept him as an expert witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady. Madam Chair Lady, if we can please share the monitor, I'd appreciate it at this time.
Yes.
And I want to
Yes,
show.
please do.
I want to show sheet number 1 of the 4-sheet architectural drawings. Mr. Stearns is here, who will describe the site plan after I complete my testimony. Looking at sheet number 1, Commissioners, you'll see the existing 7-Eleven convenience store. That's essentially, there are no changes what are proposed for the 7-Eleven store. That will remain as existing. We are proposing an addition along the south of the existing building, which is in the form of the 2-story addition, which would be located along the south side. The ground floor would in fact be the liquor store as discussed, and above that on the second floor would be 3 units that we are proposing, residential units. The addition, the 2-story addition actually represents only the new construction. There will not be a full second floor addition over the existing 7-Eleven as well. And Commissioners, as already described, the property naturally is located on the east side of Ryerson Avenue, which is directly across the street from Walgreens, which encompasses the existing corner of Ryerson Avenue, Chamberlain Avenue, and Preakness Avenue. The existing one-story building houses the existing 7-Eleven convenience store, and there will be absolutely no changes whatsoever to that convenience store. It comprises of approximately 3,000 square feet. As you can see from the drawing on the lower portion of the graphics there, Commissioners, the entry door, which faces Chamberlain Avenue, that will remain as existing. Again, no changes to the exterior face of the building as well. The facade along facing Chamberlain Avenue will remain as existing. If we can turn to sheet number 2, Commissioners, you'll see, again, the representation of the 7-Eleven store, which is the lower portion of the drawing, as also shown on sheet number 1. And you'll see what we are proposing. Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Rob, can you enlarge that at all?
Well, it's quite large. It's taking up the entire monitor screen that I'm looking at. Let's see, can we do that larger possibly? Let's
Maybe up in the upper left hand corner, there's a plus thing there.
try that plus there. Yes. Okay. Try it again. Hit it. Well, can you see that?
Yeah, you can scroll down as you're talking about it.
We can scroll down. Okay. Anyway, Commissioners, you can see if we can focus on the top portion, which is again behind the 7-Eleven. Actually, it's on the right side of the 7-Eleven because the front of the street obviously is known as Ryerson Street, which has the frontage of 198 to 202 Ryerson Avenue. That, in fact, is the front. Even though when you look at the 7-Eleven, when you're on the road, obviously it's facing Chamberlain Avenue with the parking in the front. As you can see, what we're proposing there, the addition represents a total of 3,240 square feet. Of that, 2,183 square feet will be the retail area, as you can see the notation on that drawing as well. And to the left of the drawing, I'll just reference it to the left, which again is towards the south, but that represents about 1,000 square feet, which would the 7-Eleven there, if you can see, it's notated by wall opening. So there will be one connection for the convenience of customers, of course. But again, the retail only encompasses approximately 2,100 square feet. So the existing floor area of the 7-Eleven is approximately 3,000 square feet. The proposed floor area of the addition is about 3,200 square feet. So the total floor area will be 6,305 square feet, which represents the liquor store in the existing 7-Eleven. Looking to the top of the graphics, you'll see we are proposing a stairway to the second floor apartments. And if you turn to sheet number 3, Commissioners, you will see the second floor addition that we are proposing. There are 3 dwelling units. They're labeled A, B, and C. As you can see in the yellow section there on the far left, that represents the 1-bedroom dwelling unit, which has 811 square feet, which meets the minimum 600 square feet for a 1-bedroom apartment. The 2-bedroom apartment, which is apartment B, and that's shown in the green, has 1,105 square feet, and that meets the minimum of the zoning ordinance required 900 square feet. And if we look at the lower apartment there, which is in blue, that's apartment A, that represents a total of 1,146 square feet, and again, that obviously satisfies the 900 square feet minimum. That second floor addition represents 3,275 square feet. And again, as you can see on the portion of the diagram, you can see the wording that says roof below. That's actually the roof of the 7-Eleven. So our second floor addition does not go over the existing 7-Eleven in its entirety, as you can see from that diagram. So most of it obviously is still the roof area, and the second floor, again, as I mentioned, is about 3,200 square feet. With respect to each individual apartment, there will be a washer, dryer in each apartment. There will be provisions, of course, for HVAC, which would provide heating and cooling for each apartment, as well as the water heater. There will be individual meters that would serve the 3 units as well. And you can see the location and configuration of the apartments there, again, meeting the minimum floor areas as required by the zoning ordinance. Commissioners, turning to sheet number 4, you'll see the existing diagram on the far left in the upper section of the drawing. You'll see the existing Chamberlain Avenue elevation. That will not change. As I said, that's the 7-Eleven facade. You can see the entry doors, which have been noted on there as well, which provides access to the 7-Eleven. Proposed to the Chamberlain Avenue elevation, commissioners, to the right of that. Again, the facade remains the same, but you'll see way beyond, which is the second floor addition, as noted, proposed addition beyond. So again, there's no changes to 7-Eleven whatsoever. Looking at the existing Ryerson Avenue elevation, commissioners, on the left of the drawing, you'll see what it looks like now. There's a section that has direct frontage on Ryerson Avenue in the foreground, which is 26 feet 8 inches. Again, there's just going to be a surface treatment that would blend with the proposed surface treatment of the new addition. Looking to the right, where you'll see proposed Ryerson Avenue elevation, and again, you see the entry, which is independent from the 7-Eleven entry, and you'll see the entry doors there. It will be glass facade mostly, as you can see there, and above that would be the apartments, and again, they would be providing double hung windows. As I said, there would be HVAC provisions, but we do have double hung windows which would be operable for fresh air if desired. So again, that's what the facade would look like, commissioners. You can see the configuration of the parapet. We are proposing a stucco finish, which we feel would be nice, and that would also be applied to the section on the far left, which is the existing 7-Eleven section that is in the foreground of Ryerson Avenue, and that's approximately 26 feet 8 inches. The lower diagram, commissioners, represent the south facade, which is the proposed right side, again, Ryerson Avenue being the front, of course, and you can see the doors on the bottom, which would provide access to that storage area, and also recycled items, which would be accessible from that section, also providing access directly to the parking area and the dumpsters that are located on the site plan as well, which would be described by Mr. Stearns. And essentially, that would also be finished in stucco. So, commissioners, that the treatment of the Ryerson Avenue elevation that we are proposing would be attractive, as you can see what the building would look like in the addition after the construction occurs. So we feel that there is certainly an improvement to the building itself. This would complement, as Mr. Mariconda indicated, the 7-Eleven would be a retail store serving the greater residential area, which is directly across the street. We are located in the B1 zone, which allows not only commercial uses as proposed, but also residential uses on the second floor. And we feel that this certainly would serve the residential neighborhood directly across the street. It's quite populated there. You do have the apartments that lead from Colonial Avenue. So we feel that this certainly would be in addition to the neighborhood and be providing a service and retail outlet as far as the liquor store. And there would be a connection, as I said, for the convenience of the shoppers in the liquor store to have an internal connection to the existing 7-Eleven store as well, Madam Chair Lady. And I'm finished with that particular presentation of the architectural plans.
Mr. Romanek, if I could just follow up, and again, obviously you're testifying as an architect planner, although there was no use variance being sought. The only variance in accordance with the planner's chart, and of course I would believe your zoning chart as well, it would be a rear setback. Is that correct, other than parking?
Yes, that is correct. The rear setback, and again, commissioners, as you can see, certainly Ryerson Avenue is the front of the building that has the frontage along Ryerson Avenue. There's 200 feet of frontage. Even when you go into the 7-Eleven, it appears that that's the front of the building with the parking area facing Chamberlain Avenue. But in fact, Ryerson is the front of the building. But towards the rear, and commissioners know that right adjoining the 7-Eleven, there's a gas station there as well. And there would be screening too, as indicated earlier, that there would be a board-on-board fence which would be located on top of that wall. So we feel that there is proper screening. And if in fact the setback was provided, we don't feel that there would be such a benefit as far as the provision of any type of setback there. It only represents about 25 feet of building along that rear line, Commissioner. So it isn't the entire length there. Obviously, it's in line with the existing setback of the 7-Eleven. So we're continuing that building line, and we're not obviously causing a more detrimental effect, because we are following the line, as I said, based on the fencing and the on the top of the wall, and there are no windows there obviously on that side. So we feel that it is appropriate as far as not having a setback in the rear. We don't feel would necessarily serve any benefit. It might even be possibly a future hangout for folks there at night, and I think for security purposes, we chose to go right to the property line in the rear. So we feel that that's a wise decision to do. And again, with respect to the parking, commissioners, we don't obviously satisfy the parking requirement. We have the parking that's there now, again, which is provided in the parking area that faces Chamberlain Avenue. And we are providing the 7 spaces in the newer section that butts the proposed addition. And I know the board planner had indicated about the 2 handicap spaces that actually encroach on the right of way, and that can certainly be modified. I'm sure Mr. Stearns would address that as well. But again, keeping in mind that we do have a highly dense populated area, residential populated area across Chamberlain Avenue. So we feel that certainly a great number of residents would be walking to the facility as they do now to obtain the various goods in the 7-Eleven and liquor store as well. So we don't feel that that's going to be such a detrimental effect on the neighborhood as far as not providing 100% parking.
Mr. Roman, do you know, and if you know, is there public transportation available on Chamberlain? If there is, do you know?
Yes, I believe that there are buses that travel Chamberlain Avenue, yes.
Okay.
And Pregnant Avenue, which is essentially, right on the corner of Chamberlain Avenue and Pregnant Avenue, where Walgreens is located.
Right. Okay, Madam Chair, that's all for Mr. Romanek at this time. If he's needed to be recalled, he'll be available, but he's also available, of course, for any questions.
Okay, and your next witness is?
Tom Stearns of GB Engineering.
Engineering, please, let's swear him in, please.
Good evening.
Do you swear affirm testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And your full name for the record?
Sure. Thomas G. Stearns III, STEARNS, 144 Jewel Street, Garfield, New Jersey.
Madam Chair, I would ask Mr. Stearns appeared before this board on numerous occasions as an engineering site plan expert.
Yes, please. We'll accept him as an expert witness, thank you.
Thank you very much. Tom, good evening. You had an opportunity to hear all the planners' report as well as Mr. Romanek's testimony.
Yes, I have.
Obviously, you've read the report and you prepared the site plan in question, is that right?
I did, yes.
Okay. There are a couple points that Mr. Romanek sort of referred off to you, but you can give us your overview of the site plan if you would first.
Sure, if I could share my screen, Madam Chair?
Sure.
Yes, please do.
Okay, is that visible to everyone?
Not yet.
No. Yes, oh, God. Can you enlarge that at any bit?
I can. I'll scroll around and enlarge.
Okay, good. All right, good, thank you. Good.
So I'm going to start with the existing site. So our application is for lots 29 and 30 in block 1205. As you know, it appears from looking at the site, the front of the 7-Eleven, which is on Chamberlain, that's actually lot 31, which is an easement, egress easement for parking and access to the 7-Eleven. That's a 50-foot wide frontage on Chamberlain. That's not part of our application, but we're utilizing that for parking. So we are lots 29 and 30, which is a lot that's 200 deep by 84.06. So we're fronting on Ryerson. We're 50 feet from Chamberlain. So we have the 7-Eleven building at this location as described by Mr. Romanek. We have the parking, 7 parking spaces on that easement along Chamberlain, the frontage of 7-Eleven. We have these 2 handicap spaces and several other spaces which encroach into the right-of-way of Ryerson Avenue. And there's several other spaces along the easterly side of the property at the back of 7-Eleven. So this property backs up to Molly Ann Brook. Our property actually encompasses a portion of Molly Ann Brook at this location on the southerly side. And the Molly Ann Brook does flood, and as your planner described, there is a flood elevation based on Molly Ann Brook, based on FEMA, and that elevation is 128.25 above sea level. So if you look at the site, there's no area on the site based on the elevations I provide that does flood. So the flood is clear of our entire property that we're utilizing. Of course, as you go into the bottom of Molly Ann Brook, you will have a flood area. So the portion that we're concerned about is clear of the flood. Just to let everyone know.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so I'll go up to our proposed site. I just want to clarify, so this is my site plan dated December 29th, 2020, and most current revision is February 24th, 2022. So this is our proposed site plan. As Mr. Romanek described, we're keeping the 7-Eleven building in this location. We're keeping the front of the 7-Eleven the same, and that parking that's on the easement will remain as is. We have a proposed addition that's going to extend on the easterly side of the 7-Eleven building, 25.33 feet to the south. And as Mr. Romanek said, the variance we're seeking, we have 0.88 feet off the property line. That's the existing offset from 7-Eleven. We're going to continue that. And as you travel to the south, we're going to be at 1.17. So it's close to the property line, but it's pulling away as we get toward the back. So that's a good thing. We're not encroaching further into that 7-Eleven setback. The rear of our proposed building, or the southerly side, I'll say, is 72.42 feet, heading toward Ryerson Avenue, and then we have the frontage along Ryerson Avenue with the proposed liquor store and the entryway and the liquor store. So in the back, or the parking lot on the southerly side, where I indicate a plat, it's actually the entryway into the stairwell, and these are the stairs going up to the second floor, as described by Mr. Romanek, and that's our residential aspect of the property. So we have, so what we did is the area that we proposed the building in was a 100% impervious area. So we did not take away any green area from this location. What we did is we just reconfigured our parking spaces. So we have an existing parking lot. We did not change the limit of the parking lot either. So we have an existing fence at this location that'll remain. We are going to resurface and or just clean up and stripe our parking lot. So we're going to improve the look of it. We're proposing 7 spaces along the southerly side of the property line, southerly side of the existing pavement, actually. And we're proposing 2 refuse areas, so we could split it, one for recycling, one for refuse. So we have one on the easterly side, closer to the building, and then we have the one that's near the current location of the existing refuse areas, which is right near Ryerson Avenue. There are currently no drainage facilities on the site. Basically all the water from the 7-Eleven building and the asphalt parking lot goes into Molly Ann Brook. So what we're doing is we're storing, the footprint of the new building, so our new addition, and we're proposing a trench drain at the entryway. We have a new 24 foot entryway with a drop curb on Ryerson Avenue. That will have a trench drain at the property line. And so that trench drain and the roof leaders will go to a 4 seepage pit system located in the parking lot. And that will pick up, so in other words, it'll pick up this parking area and it'll pick up this new addition. And all that water will go into the seepage pit system and seep into the ground rather than just flow up into Molly Ann Brook. So it'll be an improvement from a drainage standpoint. Also, we're proposing some curbing along, so 7-Eleven, that front portion, that 50-foot easement, lot 31, does have some curbing, but at the edge of 7-Eleven, it basically stops. So we're gonna improve that, and we're providing curbing up to our proposed 24-foot drop curb, which is our entryway. So it'll be a more, it'll be a cleaner look and more improved look along Ryerson Avenue. It'll be a dedicated entryway. Right now, it's a haphazard drive-in with no indicators, no curbing, no striping. So it'll really clean up this Ryerson Avenue access and entryway. We do have some proposed lighting, so we have 2 building-mounted lights at the southerly side of the proposed building, and we have one pole-mounted light at the edge of the parking lot. So that'll illuminate this proposed parking area that we're restriping, and it'll be a lit entryway for the residences to the 2nd floor as well.
Tom, is that lighting detail, I'm sorry, Tom, is that lighting detail shown on your plan now?
Yes, I do have a lighting detail, yes.
Okay.
So, I'll scroll over.
Sure. There was a reference in the planner's report that there may not have been, so.
Yeah, so here's the pole mounted light at this location, and then we have building mounted light here on the site plan.
Okay.
This is the detail for the 4 seepage pits. So there'll be 4 of these seepage pits located in the back, as I show.
What page is it?
I'm sorry?
What is the number of this plan? S1, what?
This plan is my site plan. It's sheet 1 of 1.
Thank you.
Sure. And then, let's see, what was I gonna say? Also, with regard to those handicap spaces, so those existing handicap spaces, currently are into the right-of-way of Ryerson, and, actually they're not van accessible handicap spaces either. You're supposed to have a van accessible space, which is, 8 and 8. These are, an older design, it appears. So what we can do is eliminate these spaces. So since we're providing 14 parking spaces on the site, and then we have the 2 handicap, but these are not legitimate handicap spaces. So we can convert space number 7 in front of the 7-Eleven into a handicap space. And since we're under 25 total spaces, we only require 1 handicap space. So what we can do is make a legitimate van accessible space at this location, and that'll provide access, a close access to the 7-Eleven building entryway, and also to the proposed liquor store. I feel that'll work. So we can adjust the plan to modify it.
So Tom, that would address paragraph 6 of the planner's report, then about the ability to provide a concrete walkway on the west side of the building?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, I discussed with the planner about we're proposing a wooden fence adjacent to the rear of our building on the easterly side of the property. And there is a slight grade change there. It's less than a foot of grade change. So we have a small retaining wall at this location. And that wall will just address the grade change here from the proposed building to the back of the parking lot. And then on top of that small wall, we're going to have a 6-foot a wood board-on-board fence that'll just prevent the adjacent property, lot 2, from seeing our property. It'll just shield them from our property. There's an existing fence along the back here and a guide rail actually that prevents cars from going into Mollyan Brook. So that's going to remain as is. It'll just be improved, striped and all.
So that description you just gave us basically lessens any impact on surrounding neighbors.
It does, yes.
And you also, there was a question raised, we can show security cameras on your detail as well?
We can. I don't usually show them. I could just depict them on the site plan.
Right, that's what I mean, yeah, that's what I'm referring to. In other words, just for final construction plans for sure, we would like to address that.
Sure, we could do that.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, Tom, at this time?
Just as in the zone chart, we have, we're asking for the 2 variances as Mr. Mack described already and yourself. So variance for the rear yard, which is on the easterly property line, that's 0.88 or 20 feet is required. That's an existing setback from the 7-Eleven building. And then we're asking for a variance for parking as well.
Okay. That's all I have, Madam Chair, at this time.
Okay, you said you had, was it the owner of the property?
The owner would be just confirming the testimony, but he's available if you wish at this time.
No, then let's just let it be for now. I'm going to open this up to the public. Any questions from the public, of either one of these witnesses? If anyone has any questions, please call in at 973-321-1579, and the meeting ID is 711-680-001. Madam Secretary, I believe you said we had a couple people on the line already?
Yes, we do, Madam Chair. I'd like to first call Magali La Madrid. I need you to hit *6 on your phone to unmute yourself. Can you hear me?
And I also want to state that I will allow 2 minutes for anyone else who wants to call in, and 3 minutes for questions. 3 minutes for questions, so please make your point, to the point as possible. Thank you.
I will ask her again. She is there. Magali La Madrid. Can you hit *6? Do you hear me? Okay, I'm going to the other caller at this moment so I can reach her. Nilda Torres, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Magali? Mrs. La Madrid?
Yes, Magali.
Okay,
Yes, Magali.
Chairwoman Northrop, she is on at this moment. Please listen to the chairwoman first. Turn your television off so I don't have any background.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yes. Chairwoman Northrop, you may proceed.
Yeah, I'm going to ask that you have 3 minutes to make your point and questions, okay, for either one of these witnesses. Okay, so your question, first of all, please state your name and address for the record.
Magali La Madrid, 294 Patterson Ave. I'm directly on the other side of Mollyan Brook. Okay, am I allowed to speak now?
Yes, go ahead.
Sure, I just need the name again and the spelling of the name, please.
Okay, the spelling of your name for the record, please.
Magali is my first name. Last name is L.A. Madrid, like the capital of Spain, Madrid.
Thank you.
Lamadrid, okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. And your address, you might be on the other side, just give me your address for the record, please.
294 Patterson Ave.
Okay, thank you. All right, and your question, please?
Okay, so first my question is in regards to is there a parking space right behind the Mollyan Brook? Is that what I see?
I can testify to that, sure.
Just interject a moment. Mr. Stearns. Yes, thank you. Okay, you may proceed.
All right, thank you. So there isn't I'll just go to my I'm still sharing, so, I'll go to the existing plan. So there's an existing, parking lot adjacent to Molly and Brook, and it's several feet away from the bank of Molly and Brook. And the parking spaces will be located on that existing pavement.
Okay, so so here's my concerns. I have several poses here. First, beginning with the Molly and Brook with the parking space there. So we already have existing litters and people throwing things in the brook. No one is cleaning it. And we don't have that many people on that other side, okay? So I've been living in this property since 2002. The town has not cleaned it for years. I understand that's not your problem, but how will you address the mess that's gonna happen when you bring more people into that space? Because as of right now, we are experiencing flooding because of all the garbage that's thrown in the Molly and Brook. So that's number one, okay? So now, also, you mentioned that there, 15 years ago, there was a hall with a liquor store. 15 years, I've been there since 2002, there was a hall, there was a liquor store, they were allowed to serve liquor. Okay, we understand, as you guys know, the quality of life has significantly gotten worse in Patterson. The crime has completely increased. Every single area where you guys have where Patterson has approved or there has been approved a liquor store, there's crime, there's homelessness, and the area is completely ruined. So as of right now, this particular area is one of the few areas that is actually left that is nice. And, you know, as you said, you want to make it look pretty, but at the end of the day, what a liquor store attracts is not the type of people we want in our neighborhood. Also, there is an entrance a little bit down the street, it's behind what used to be the E&B restaurant that goes to the other side, where we have people crossing from Chamberlain to that side. So again, the liquor store is only going to attract more homelessness, more crime. So how are you going to combat? You know, you make everything seem pretty. Also, actually, before I go further than that, you mentioned that there's buses in that area. There are no buses on Chamberlain. So it shows to me that you guys have not done your proper research in regards to the area. There's no buses that come to that area. That is one of the nicer areas. Yes, we have the projects on the other side, but however, when you cross that, Wayne is a couple streets up, Total is on the left. Those are the very few areas that we have left. I would like to know how you're going to address not only the crime that you're going to bring in, also the loitering that's going to happen, and especially the things that are already going on, again, without having the help of the town.
But I would like to
understand that.
Okay, Magali, I would like to just state that you're gonna have to wind it down with your questions. I think he's got the gist of what you're asking. No, it's not too much. No, your concerns are taken very seriously here. So, no, it's not too much, but I just want you, if you have one other point you'd like to make, please do so and then let them respond, okay?
Okay, you know what, at this point right now, no, I just would like to hear them respond. Thank you.
Okay.
What I'll do at this point, Madam Chair, rather than, referring back to either of the experts, what I'd like to point out is, obviously, any public policy concerns that involve property which is not within the boundaries of our property, unfortunately, this applicant or any other property owner has no control over, but I can tell you this, my client has owned this property for a good number of years. He's a professional businessman in his own right, and he really is very committed to establishing this site and expanding this site for providing new housing and providing another service business that links up with the 7-Eleven. And he's committed to doing everything within his power on his property to maintaining a good, safe property. We understand the general perception about any sort of a business that sells alcohol. This is not going to be a tavern or a club or anything of that nature. This is a package store that closes at very reasonable hours. And again, this is a service that's linked in a sense to the 7-Eleven type of business, and it's a permitted use in this zone. So it's incumbent upon the applicant and the proposed tenant to make sure that it's maintained in the proper fashion. And there are many, many liquor stores in this municipality that are run very professionally and don't create any sort of crime or social issues within this community. There are exceptions and there are problems. We agree with that. So there's no doubt in our mind that that has to be monitored on a regular, careful basis. We agree with that. And I would also point out again to the members of the public that this is a two-step process whereby if the planning board grants an approval, deems the application worthy of approval, there would be a second step where the proposed specific tenant would have to appear before the Patterson ABC board at a future time with publication in the newspaper for the hearing to determine whether the ABC board, which governs the specific approval of a specific tenant, would have the ABC's vote of approval. So that's a very specific step that addresses a particular tenant above and beyond what this planning board has the jurisdiction and control over regarding the site plan and variance approval. So there's a two-step process, and the second process is more specifically geared towards the specific ABC, the specific liquor license usage on the site. But we're absolutely committed, my client is a professional, as I say, to keeping this site a positive one for the neighborhood, and that's where we are on those issues.
Okay, thank you for your response.
Sure, Madam Chair. Mr. Soares, can you remove your plans, please?
Yes.
Sure. Thanks.
All right, I'm gonna ask for the next caller, please.
Thank you, Chairwoman Northrop. I'd like to actually ask, Nilda Torres, if you're ready.
Yes, this is me, Nelda Torres.
How are you, ma'am? Please give me 1 moment
I'm
before
doing
you
very
speak.
well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Can you mute your TV, or there's something in the background I'm picking up?
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, I'm on the phone. Okay, is that better?
Yes, ma'am, thank you very much. You may proceed, Chairwoman Northrop.
Okay, Ms. Torres, can you please state your address for the record?
Okay, my name is Nelda Torres, and my address is 292 Patterson Avenue. I'm behind the Molly Brook as well.
Okay, I'm gonna have to keep it down to the 3 minutes for your question. So go ahead and ask your questions of either of these witnesses, please.
Well, basically, it's not so much that I have questions as much as I have concerns. I live in 292 Patterson Avenue, and I've been here since 2001. I have a very huge problem personally in my house, and it's ever since they opened up the 7-Eleven with their gasoline station, with their gasoline pumps. It seems that those gasoline pumps are going into the sewer, and I'm getting sewer backup at least every 6 months or so. I've already made the city aware of this. Now, my problem is bringing more apartments and bringing more businesses to this area, to me, is just going to compound the problem that we already have in the street as far as getting sewer backup. That's number one. Number two, I have a very big problem with also the crime in the city of Patterson. A lot of it has to do, of course, with liquor stores, bars, all that kind of stuff. We don't need another liquor store in this area. We have plenty of liquor stores on Union Ave. And we know that there's plenty of problems on Union Ave. Sometimes it's even very dangerous to walk on Union Ave because of the people, the vagrants, the homeless, and the people that hang on Union Ave. Also, 7-Eleven. I'm right around the corner. Once in a while I go to 7-Eleven. When I go there at night, there's already homeless people up there sitting there and begging for money, as well as in Walgreens. This is just opening up a liquor store there is just going to compound the problem of getting more and more people, homeless people and vagrants, hanging out there and asking for money. This is a big problem that we have in the city of Patterson. And so far, our neighborhood's been kept up pretty good, pretty decent, and we would like to keep it that way. So I know that we need housing in Patterson. I know that we need more housing than we have. I understand that, but I don't think we need more liquor stores in the city of Patterson, especially in this area. You know, and that's my concern. My concern is more with them opening a liquor store. We don't need any more problems in the city of Patterson.
Okay, Ms. Torres, does that have you named all your concerns at this point? Let me ask you that.
That's my main concern, that and the fact that we already have a problem with Molly Brook, which we're supposed to be having the state, engineers coming and cleaning that brook. They don't come and clean it, and people just continue to throw garbage. I mean, I had a problem with, Hurricane Ida, which I had 6 feet of water in my basement, you know, so I don't want any more problems. I know that, you know, if they continue throwing garbage in there and the city, state engineers don't come and clean that brook is also a problem.
I'll tell you the truth, I would stay on top of those the engineers to get that done.
Can you mute yourself, sir?
I'm eating yours. Steve, are we eating?
So I'm saying more like the problems that are happening, and like I said, we're still living in a pretty nice, area in the city of Patterson, and I would like it to stay that way.
All right, we appreciate your comments, thank you so much. I'm going to ask, Madam Secretary, do you have, another caller on the line?
No, I do not have any callers.
All right, so, let me open this up then to the commissioners. Commissioners, do any of the commissioners have any questions of either of these witnesses this evening? Commissioners?
This is Commissioner Santana.
Okay, Commissioner Santana, please go ahead.
I would like to ask the applicant whether, they can reconsider now, you know, a different, store or to provide different service instead of a liquor store at that location.
Well, Madam Chair, what I would have to do in order to discuss that even would be to go off the record for a couple minutes, you know, to speak to my client. But I want to, if I could, just go back 1 second to the last comment of one of the neighbors. I don't know if Mr. Stearns in any way can address it. Mr. Stearns, is there anything regarding that question about usage of our property that could relate to sewer line backups that you're aware of from an engineering point of view? The existing 7-Elevens, you referred to a gas station?
No, Madam Chair. No, there's no gas station or gas pumps at this location. And, as far as sewer backup, I mean, we are storing our stormwater runoff on the site, so that's an improvement to Molly Ann Brook. So we're actually helping this flooding situation out rather than being detrimental to it.
But that issue related to a gas station has no direct bearing on this application.
That's correct, yes.
And,
I'm sorry, yeah, I'm glad we cleared that up because that was gonna be my question. I don't remember seeing a gas station there, but whatever's happening with that gas is coming from another source, which there was a gas station, if I'm not mistaken, not too far from there, and it probably seeped into the water or something. Alright,
we understand there's a quality of life issue surrounding that area in a general sense, but we want to bear in mind that this is a specific site and a specific proposal to use this site, expanding for a second commercial and residential uses. What I'd like to do, and I have no problem responding to Commissioner Santana's question, but would you like to take any other questions first before I went off the record with that question?
I'll see if there's any others, yes. Yeah. Any other questions from any of the other commissioners?
This is Commissioner Cleves. I had the same question that Commissioner Santana had. Is there another positive service that you could provide other than a liquor store, you know, in the location?
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Cleves. All right, any other commissioners?
Yeah, obviously the quality of life issue is of concern. Listening to some of the constituents speak on those issues, and I do understand you're stating it, you know, it's a liquor store, it's a packaged liquor store, it's 10, but if there's transient population in the area, that might be a concern of people just loitering and drinking and stuff like that. So I also have that concern. I'm also taking that into consideration. On another note, the 2 handicap parking spaces, you mentioned you're going to get rid of them in lieu of what?
Through the chair. So what we're going to do is we're gonna relocate. So those 2 spaces are not valid spaces because they're not van accessible. So we're going to relocate it, and create a van accessible space. We won't lose the space because there's an area next to, the space number 7 along Chamberlain. And we're only required to have, 1 handicap space per 25. That's the regulation for every 25 spaces. So we'll have a legitimate handicap space in a position that's on our property instead of being off our property onto the right of way. And it'll be a legitimate handicap space instead of a currently unsatisfactory one.
Okay? Okay, I have a quick question. It might have come up, maybe I missed it, probably missed it. I know we discussed the lighting. Are there video cameras gonna be on the outside of that building? Because it seems like if there are some vagrants out there, maybe this is the right thing that we need to have.
Yes, there are. So I testified there are going to be, I'm going to update my plan to show video cameras, and the applicant is going to provide them.
Okay.
So that will add to the safety feature.
Good.
And obviously our applicant is wants to keep a clean, safe site for his the residents there and his patrons. So he's going to do his best to keep it improved and clean and safe.
Okay, great. All right, if there's no other questions, any other questions, commissioners? All right, I don't hear any other questions, so yes, please we'll take a small break here, no more than 5 minutes to confer with your, with the applicant, please.
Sure, thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, everybody, 5 minutes.
No, go over there, go.
Who's talking? Who's talking?
It was just,
A mistake?
a little mishap, it happens.
I'm sorry.
He's so cute.
I'm dog sitting. for my son. So I
No worries. No worries, we're on break.
Oh, you saw her?
Yes, I did. She's probably bigger than you.
Madam Chair, we're back on if you're available.
Let me see, is everyone back on? Commissioners, Commissioner Cleaves, you there? Commissioner Santana, are you there?
Commissioner Cleaves is here.
Thank you, I see Commissioner Santana. Okay, I see Commissioner Figueroa there. Yes, I see her. Who's left here? We got Commissioner Amar, is she on the line still? Nope,
I got it, thank you.
see if you can get her.
We appreciate the break on the meeting, Madam Chair.
Okay, my pleasure.
Thank you. We cannot speak for a few moments until I get a full board.
I'm just making a thank you to the chair, I'm not speaking substantively.
Duly noted, thank you.
Alright, somebody's got the microphone on, so we need to turn all the microphones off. I know we're all getting tired, but we have to just wait till I get my quorum back.
She's reconnecting, there's an issue, not on our end, but if you can give her a couple of minutes, she'll be right back on. Thank you.
No, wait, okay,
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm here.
No, never mind, I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Just give her a minute. Sometimes when you get nervous, you try to reconnect, and you know you gotta get on. But she'll be on shortly. Any items in your home or TV, shut it off. Everyone, please mute yourself.
I'm sorry, this is Commissioner, I'm back on.
Thank you. You're unmuted, Chairwoman.
Sorry, no other questions from the commissioners I want, so what is the, what was the little powwow about?
Right, we appreciate the opportunity to discuss the application, Madam Chair. What we'd like to have the board consider, and I'll also defer to the planner and the council in terms of procedure. We'd like to do one of two things here. We may need this matter to be carried to submit revised plans. It'll depend on one or two things. One of the things we'd like to raise is the possibility of converting the business usage from a liquor store to anything that may be permitted within the B1 or B2 zone that is not a liquor store in the generic or general sense. That might allow us to proceed tonight. Or, as an alternative, the idea of carrying the matter to come back with a more specific use in that zone for this proposed space, and that whether it might be residential or commercial in terms of the additional usage of this space. So that's the options we were kicking around that I'd like to, communicate with your staff and professionals about.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Okay. Michael, are you there? Oh, there you are. I think the issue becomes, this is no longer a conditional use approval then, if the application is modified on those terms. So I guess I'm not sure if we would be able to continue to proceed tonight because the criteria would be different. At that point, there'd be no conditional use approval required, unless I'm missing something. I defer to both planners.
Right. Oh, yeah, I would be looking for permitted use in the B1 or B2, or the idea of coming back with a specific use or residential use in the entire building.
Well, Mr. Maricano, which one would it be? Because, I mean, if you're gonna come back, I think if you go with the former, and I'll defer to both of our planners on this, but if you go with the former, and you make it a permitted use, then I think we can proceed tonight.
Right.
If you're going to limit it to one particular use, then I think, at that point, your client, the applicant's gonna have to decide what use that would be, and then our planners can determine what criteria to use for review. But I defer to both planners, obviously I'd wanna hear from both of you.
Okay.
I would want to know how our commissioners feel about, feel about that? You're looking for an approval, but you're not telling us any specific use.
Yeah, what that has occurred over the years, as you know, Mike, on some occasions where we're looking for a generic usage of a commercial space that fits within that zone, but doesn't have the specific tenant lined up yet. It's not our preference, of course, I'll be candid in that sense, but that would be one thought we could ask the board's input on, or the alternative of coming back with, as they say, a specific commercial use, or they would also consider possibly a residential use for the entire space.
Well, I mean, doesn't that trigger, again, Michael, and, I'll throw it to both planners, wouldn't that trigger different variances? I mean, in terms of a parking variance, I mean, if we don't know what use it is, what parking requirement do we have? Again, I'm just thinking out loud in terms of how we can proceed.
The residential would clearly change the structure of the zoning chart.
That's why I think they should come back, I really do, unfortunately, because I think you should have it, I'm gonna tell you what I personally feel, and we can touch base with the rest of the board, but I just think that you need to have a specific, plan in place so that we know which direction we're going in. I don't know, how does the rest of the board feel? I'm not hearing I concur.
I agree with you, Chairwoman.
Okay, Mr. Cleaves?
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Okay.
I can't vote on the affirmative if I don't know what I'm voting on.
Okay, so I'm thinking then we're pretty much, Commissioner Amar, are you there? Oh, please don't tell me we lost her again.
Well, if it's a request for adjournment, Madam Chair,
Right. We're not gonna offer any other testimony at this point, for sure. So I would ask the board's consideration for postponement. I realize we have a very heavy calendar. The good thing is we will try to make this amendment very specific and very narrow so that the planning staff will have an opportunity to easily prepare a new review, an amended review. So hopefully with 5 commissioners tonight, perhaps we can get a transcript to have more commissioners in case anyone's missing. We can come back and probably do this on a pretty expedited basis at the board's pleasure or discretion with the planning staff.
Mr. Deutsch?
So, what kind of time frame are you asking for, Mr. Mariconda?
Mr. Romanek, you're on with me, right?
Yes, correct.
We're revising the usage of the space, from an internal nature, and of course it would impact Tom's plan as well. What do you think the reasonable amount of time we would need?
Well, I would think, possibly three weeks or so, 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
So Tom, I'm sorry, Mike.
6 works for you?
But I want to see what Michael's thoughts was in terms of review.
So are we looking at April, Mr. Mariconda?
Perhaps second meeting in April with Mr. Romanek and Mr. Stearns?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
April
Mr.
20th?
Deutsch, does that work for you?
Yes, April, we do not have anything, carried to April at the moment.
Alright, so, and then we'll look for this in April, I guess we need a motion, do we need a motion?
Well,
Did you want to have a regular meeting date, Mr. Deutsch? April 20th?
Yeah, we would appreciate that.
We'll go with April 20th then.
Thank you.
Mr. Mariconda, obviously we have a statutory waiver of law, time periods.
We would, and we know we'll have to be re-notifying because there'll be a modification of the site plan and variances.
Okay, Madam Chair, we don't need a vote, we don't need a vote, the applicant is, consenting to waiving all time restrictions, limitations, we have a date that right now is tentatively scheduled, the applicant has to re-notify anyway.
Okay, then that works. Then that works.
We appreciate your input, thank you.
Okay, alright, thank you everyone. No, that the commissioners don't leave, I believe we have one resolution that we must do this evening. Am I correct, Mr. Deutsch?
Yes.
Yes, Stephen, turn everything off.
Thank you very much.
Yes, everybody else have a good evening, and the commissioners, please stay there. I don't know, once again, what happened to, Commissioner, Amar. Maggie, I'm gonna ask you.
She's there.
Okay, right there. Okay, good, okay. All right, so we have one resolution, guys, just sit tight. I believe, Mr. Aquaviva, you'll be good with that, or?
I would love to if I could find it, Madam Chair. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second, I can't find, I had it in front of me 10 minutes ago, and now it seems to have disappeared.
Would you like me to read it, sir, into the record?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
I got it. I have it. Thank you, Madam Secretary, unless you really feel compelled to do it. All right,
I've
are
been
we
doing
ready?
it for a long time, but I have more faith in you.
Okay. Madam Chair, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. First, I want to make, do we have, so I want to make sure we have commissioners here. 1, 2, 3. Oh,
Yes, we have enough, sir, yes.
Okay, good, thank you, Madam Secretary. I thought we had 4. Okay, on the application of Gromex Foods, the property located at, there are several properties, lots 1 and 2, 1320-30, 1330 Madison Street, 192 18th Avenue, and, 480 East 30th Street, 162 180 18th Avenue, 182 190 18th Avenue, 192 198 18th Avenue, and 478 480 East 30th Street, blocks 8701, lots 1, 2, 3, and 4 respectively. The property located in the B3 General Business District. The applicant was seeking site plan approval, in both variances to combine lots containing approximately 305,271 square feet. The applicant proposed to demolish all of the structures on portions of lots 1, 2, 3, and 4. The applicant proposed to construct a 96,800 square foot industrial building with a loading dock and 10,800 square foot mezzanine to be used in the applicant's wholesale fresh and frozen food distribution business. The board considered this matter at its January 31, 2022 special meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard second by Commissioner Figueroa.
Better Commissioner Santana. Better Commissioner Santana? Oh, no, maybe not.
I thought I heard Figueroa, but.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
And Linda confirmed? Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
Call the roll?
I heard them both.
Thank you. Commissioners, Commissioner Cleves,
Yes.
Commissioner Santana,
Yes.
Commissioner Amar. Okay, but we can proceed. Chairwoman Norfolk,
Yes.
Commissioner Amar. Thank you. Yes, thank you. For the affirmative, this resolution has been adopted. For Gromex Foods, 162-198 18th Avenue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other business, Mr. Deutsch?
We have a special meeting on Monday, March 7th. One application at 6:30 on the web.
Okey dokey. All right, everyone.
Excuse me.
Yes.
If you don't mind, I know before you mentioned we have 2 special meetings in this month. One is on the 7th and when is the next one now?
Wednesday, March 30th.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay? All right, good enough.
Good evening, everyone.
All right, everybody have a good evening. Be safe. Take care and we'll.
Meeting adjourned, Chairwoman, meeting adjourned.
Yes, we'll say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Good night,
I
everybody.
just want to apologize for all the, disconnecting tonight. I don't know what happened to my
No
phone.
worries. No worries. It's not your fault. We have to work on getting you that computer first. Let's just start with that.
Yes, and I also, need, they told me they were going to send me, like, it was like, so I can know, like, what, like the amount of parking spaces